But why do you look so nervous while tying your shoelaces?
In here?
Yes, this new kid was introducing himself. And as soon as he said his name, I realized it was Hyunjoon Chul.
This is why it sounds so loud. Thump, thump, this.
This?
Why is that? Oh, right over there.
I told you that's what it is. Oh, never mind.
Hello everyone, I'm Hyunjoon. Today, once again, I'm filming outside in the fresh air like this.
I think the weather is perfect for filming today.
So today, whether you've seen me before or if this is your first time, I'd like to introduce myself again and say hello to all the viewers who are watching.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chul, and I started living in South Korea in 2013. I've been living here for 9 years now as a North Korean defector.
Yes, nice to meet you, yes.
Nice to meet you.
Also, I found it among the lost and found items at Yeomcheong building.
That's right, yes.
Here, the scenery is beautiful, and as soon as you come here, your mood gets better.
This is the main entrance, and the guest room is right next to it.
So, yo, do you have a reason for living here?
Yes, let me introduce myself. Originally, when I first came out of Hanawon, I was given a house called Choknam Village.
Because I liked it, I went straight there.
I went there expecting to eat a lot of seafood, but it wasn't like that. Without hard work, you can't make a living. That's right, yes. And now another job is like that. I don't have anything else to show, so I don't really have any skills either.
So, you know.
Now, it's not easy to get a regular job, so I have to do manual labor, but there aren't that many jobs available.
Over there.
When I look for jobs, it's like this here too.
Yes, that's right.
I've been living well here like this, but actually over there is the main street now.
I know.
I heard you had a hard time living in North Korea.
I heard about it, about North Korea.
How is your hometown?
Hwanghae-bukdo, Hwangju County.
I'm Nam Jae-seo from Hwanghae-do.
Yes, that's right.
I can't see it that way. Frankly,
It looks like you just came from home. There's not much scenery over there, but if you look closely, it's Jinwook. Even Hamkyung comes out sometimes. I guess you could call it adaptability. When I meet someone who speaks with that accent, I naturally start to speak like that too.
the accent just comes out.
When that happens,
You said you came to Hwanghae-do, Hwangju when you were young, but how old were you? 7?
when I left, the reason I was able to leave was because my family were Christians. My mother and father's faith allowed me to leave when I was 5 years old.
That's what happened, so.
Until then, I was just staying at home, not really knowing anything, but since I was so young, I didn't really remember much.
I was only 5 years old.
At that time, Lee-Cherun and I started living separately from my mom and dad.
I was with my mom. I followed her, as she said. While I was watching, my mom, Kyung-han, said she told the foster child they weren't allowed to go. As a child, I lived with my grandmother. My stepmother, who claimed to have graduated from a prestigious university, entered our lives. When people inquired about us, she would say, "He attends a prestigious university in the East." Before I even got my own shoes, I was already working. But if I wanted to get my own shoes, I had to do chores.
I'm cold.
I went outside and it was cold, so I said it was cold, and they told me to just endure it. Even in our environment, when you look at the old days, when we ate barley rice, if you didn't have side dishes, you had to eat it with soy sauce. But in the countryside, even that wasn't available, so you had to eat barley rice with just salt, and it was really hard. My mother would tell me to go out and dig up shepherd's purse like this, not just 1 or 2, but 6 or 7 bundles, and I had to dig up several of them. I would gather about 20 corn roots, and after collecting them, I would go back and cook rice with them. So even then, there wasn't enough firewood or rice.
And then she would hit me and not give me any food.
When Abba was around, she wouldn't do things like that.
She couldn't disobey.
Even if I ate, I only ate a little, but I still felt hungry. That's how it is. When I eat rice, I go to work.
At home,
There's not much, but when I looked at the antlers, I realized there were always things at home, like hanging up dried seaweed or dried anchovies. That's what I did. And then, when I was 7 years old, I left home.
Before that, my stepmother...
Now, even when I was a music teacher or a math teacher, I worked as a statistician. They called me a statistician. And if you say that in Korean, it sounds like someone who gives out candy or rice cakes, or someone who beats you, or something like that. So, the family lived well. But since I was under so much stress, this was really tough for me.
A life called Ra.
When I was 7, there was,
I had those thoughts back then, yes.
So I started looking for something comforting, like really searching for my mom.
So where is she?
Where is she?
Tell me, please.
I can't live like this anymore, please.
I lived in Japan, but they spoke to me harshly, Mom. They repeatedly scolded me.
My mom packed 2 bags for me and sent me off. I took 1 letter with me, and then...
경무랑
No. Gyeongmu is now assigned to the military police. And when the security guard, the train security guard, or the station security guard is assigned, that badge, if they show it to you, they'll let you go without any problem. That's right, Han! Jang-yun bought it and gave it to me. There's a spring inside. Do I have to do it? Yes, the spring goes inside and gets sewn in. But at that time, I didn't know how to sew.
몰라요, 아베오지.
I don't even know how he lived.
Yeah, I was 7 years old.
Even Lee-Cherun couldn't get a job. On July 8th, 1994, Kim Hee-soo's case.
He died, and then...
So it came out in November. It was November, but the previous incident wasn't resolved like that in November. Aboji was quietly minding his own business until this incident. From that point, he became very upset, repeatedly asking, "Why is this happening?" and expressing his frustration. No.
Not even 17 years old.
If you're only 7 years old, of course.
That's right.
So I was sitting like this in front of the school, in front of the station, before the train came. I was just spacing out, looking at my phone, and then suddenly a group of kids ran past me, chasing after something. I was just sitting there like that, and I could hear people talking nearby.
So that's what a flower thief is, I thought. Hearing about it, but seeing it for the first time.
Avaji said, "Go find the security guard."
That's right. That's what he said.
The security guards at the station were doing this and that.
I went to find it. I went to look for it.
Like this. I couldn't just let the truth go like that. I'm going to find my mom. I'm on my way to find my real mom, but right now it's too...
So clumsy like this.
I'm looking for her.
Because I was scared, I came looking for you.
I gave you a letter. I read the letter you gave me.
That it.
In 1 line.
4 people like this.
It was Park,
4 stars in 1 line?
That's right. So will there be an answer from there now? From dreaming of a snowflake.
이태원이.
Oh, poor Aiguna. Hey, you have to keep watching this. Hey, who is that? So in that room, the security guards are giving instructions like this, and then the security guards over there have to listen carefully to what the security guards here say. Only then can things go smoothly, and that's how they keep track of the time and everything. But at that time, from Sariwon to Wonsan, the train was running. There was a train, and then... The train was running, but it was a steam locomotive, just running on steam.
I got on, and then...
I later met an ex-Special Forces member on the train.
I handed it over, and then...
I got on the train, and as I was leaving, I thought, why is my heart beating so fast? It was my first time riding a train, and after getting on for the first time, my heart was pounding like this.
My heart was pounding as I was going.
As I was passing through Pyongyang, it really felt cool. Wow, I thought. So this is what it's like. It was just like what I saw on television coming out just like that. Is this the Bukchon line? No, that's not what I mean. Back then, I didn't think of it as North Korea. I was just living my daily life. Just Joseon, I only knew it as my country, Joseon. That was all I knew. I was transferring at Sungmuwon while passing through Pyongyang.
I was curious back then.
I asked if it was Yokpo or Junghwa Station, and they said Junghwa all the way to Pyongyang. That's how I found out he was serving in the military. But this train would sometimes lose power in the middle, and then the power would come back on, and it would keep going. So it would take a whole day, sometimes even more than a day, to get there. It took a long time. They made us get off. The soldiers made us get off, and we were just standing there shivering and waiting. I wondered, why are they doing this to us? So that's why it's called orako.
But people...
They just hang around, talk, go out, listen to music, and pass the time. The world I saw was a world that was so cruel. When I think about it now, it was something that was too far ahead of its time.
I feel the same way.
Did I have to grow up so fast? I feel like I was forced to be apart from the world.
You see, even now...
I keep thinking, did I find out about things too quickly?
In this world...
About things that are too secret.
Because I find out too quickly.
There's nothing fun.
Right now, there's nothing fun. No.
Right now it's boring, so there's nothing fun.
When I lived in Japan, it wasn't like that.
When I lived in Japan, I spent 17 years living a similar life.
That's why it was like that.
So it took about 12 or 13 days because of the storm on the way.
When we arrived, I say see.
Because it was just one stop, a high C, the train station worker. In the middle, he said,
When you grow up,
be sure to become a great person. You have to be a good child because your mother is a good person. Yes, I understand, Ajasi. When I grow up, I want to become a pilot. Mom?
I have to go now.
Are you surprised? When I was 7, living with Jongwei, Mom, Dad, and Lee-Cherun would go to Wangmangwa Market. Mom always left me in the kitchen when she went out. When I cried, she would take out a candy from her pocket and say, "Here, don't cry."
I remember, Mom.
You said you'd follow me, but why did you leave me behind now?
I was scared.
Because I was only 5, I couldn't go with you by force, so I just stayed behind. That's what I remember.
So I went looking for Grandma.
Now I had to go find my mom, but unfortunately I was taken away like that, and because I wasn't originally from Yokdo, I didn't know the way.
I did it. The courage to...
I took it, and the station safety officer gave it to me.
No, and then...
역도 안전원한테? It's Juyo. While I was reading it, there was a name Jeohui's mom.
You
You have to be my son.
That's why. So...
She's his mother. Ah. There were kids who kept coming and going like this. What a mess, seriously.
Tenika, otobai.
Get on the back.
At that time, the motorcycle.
It was my first time, Taio, my first time riding when I lived in Japan. I said, wow, this is so nice. It felt so good to ride like this, so I kept riding, and it felt so good. So I rode the motorcycle for about 15 minutes. But then, right next to it, there was a place called Choyun.
There was a place like that, Choyon.
You cross over, and if you look over there, they call it the railroad warehouse. Yang Do-nim used to live there.
Gift housing?
After crossing over, there's a radish-shaped house standing there.
There is, over there.
It's a sandal. My mom recognized me.
I'm a little...
It's a little bit like that, yeah?
Because it's been 2 years.
My mom's face has changed a lot. She lost weight, her skin sagged, and there were wrinkles. But when I found out, I realized she had been through so much.
How could this happen?
Her stepfather is Seol Jo-jung-dung.
This is...
I'll do it again. About Jo-hee's mother.
Jo-hee's mother.
Jong-gong.
It's art major.
I do perms or hairstyling.
And in addition to that...
There's something called mobile use. If you provide beauty services to people in your neighborhood using a cart, they will pay you for your work.
How long have you been here?
When you look at it, it's either gangnang or oksusu or something similar.
A few of those things.
They would wrap it up and send it, and that's how they would get by and survive. After changing that, my mom would work hard all day.
When she brought it home, the rice...
She would exchange it for alcohol. I brought rice. Even if I can't eat, I have to eat alcohol. This is too strong, and in this house...
I have to be the eldest daughter-in-law?
That's there. There's a family tradition. And my mom...
Without any hesitation.
had to lie down straight on the floor.
That's right, that's what happened?
Siwo. But when I looked at the mother plant, I saw that there were 2 shoots. One was a shoot that the father brought, and the other was a shoot that the mother had left. So, after meeting the father, the orchid is now a climbing vine. Gananan.
It was there, that's why.
If I say my family was poor, and that I followed my mom to work, even my mom's shoes.
I would help her and do things like that.
That's how it was.
I lived in Japan.
My family didn't know that I was really a man, so they didn't try to stop me because they thought it was just a phase. But as I kept doing it, I started to feel really guilty. My stepmother said, listen to your mom and do what she says. Don't go against her. Don't be like this. I can't stand being hit.
Like that.
Do it! I couldn't even live for a few months.
Even when I went to my mom's house, I couldn't live there for a few months.
She just passed away, my mom. You're doing well trying to speak right now.
Lee-Cherun and Hyunjoon.
The hardships you face before becoming an adult and entering society.
Even if you eat snow and grass.
You have to endure and survive. Hang in there and your mom will come for you, so don't ever give up.
Here. Hang in there, and mom, too.
I'm living like this, trying my best right now.
Like that.
So my mom kept telling me, you have to be strong, you have to be strong. That's how she raised me.
So now,
Kang Neng also sold and sold things to save up some money.
that's what I did, and then
Now I took that corn and I ground it up and then...
Now, about 4.4 pounds like this.
that.
There are some rice cakes here, guys. I set aside the rice cakes.
Put it there and go find the rice cakes now. You insisted on going to find Chana Amber despite your mom telling you to stay home. You were happiest when out, but now you say you want to rest like this.
I'm not going.
That's when I started to cry.
Yes, so I also...
Mom and Dad and Lee-Hyun too.
If they hadn't divorced, Lee-Hyun would have been born. So at that time,
I didn't do it like that. I just said mom, dad, and that's it.
if I hadn't, I would have too.
You can't just live like this. Because you only have one mom, your mom is precious.
She said, endure it, that's how it is.
Even now my heart aches. Did I say something I shouldn't have to my mom? It felt like there was a world just for adults.
The words meant for a child like me.
So I just stayed quiet.
And then, worried about me, you came out of the house.
My mom followed me all the way to the bus stop, and she has a habit of holding my hand tightly. So even at the bus stop, she kept holding my hand. While I was riding the train, I was supposed to transfer at Cheongjin Station, but I ended up getting on a train called the Cheongjin Musan Line. I didn't know that Cheongjin had a regular station. I just stayed inside that train, but
Even after a long time, it still didn't leave.
it was the same. But while I was fixing that stove, it even got into there. While I was cleaning, that's when
I took it out, and then
I followed the tracks to the platform and stood in front of Cheongjin Station wandering around. I thought, what should I do now? I must endure.
So that's why,
I was scolded when I went home, so I stayed put. I didn't want to go to my friend's house either, as I had already left traumatized and didn't want to return. So I thought, I don't know, and just lived however I could. But one day, early in the morning, the kids from the soccer club came and asked, "Hey, why aren't you coming?" They kept asking, and I just answered vaguely, "I'm not sure, where should I go?" and things like that.
That's what happened.
I'm on my way to find Lee Ji's father, but why is that?
if you do that, even if you regret it later, you can't take back what you said.
No, not right now.
I don't really speak the Hwanghae-do dialect, but sometimes I feel like I have it when I wake up. I can kind of imitate it if I try, but I mostly stick to the standard accent. I occasionally try to match or mimic the dialect a little bit, but that's it.
Is this the person who called?
it feels sweet.
It was a rural area, and our mom said it was too far to go to school, so she didn't want to send us. So when I went, there were only a few kids, maybe about 12 or 13 when I saw them.
It was there.
I went to the village obliviously because I was told to, as I had no other choice.
Oh, so...
Why is that? Because that's how it is, that's why. That's how we learned, that's why.
Hancham.
Gudeoni's side.
Tainan gaboyo.
Hancham is walking away.
It was the same, and then again.
It changed.
And then you hold on again like this, and the new ones are inside.
Hey, what's wrong with you?
This is my seat, but my mom put it on the bus like this. Don't bite the money, I told you not to bite it. No, thankfully I bit the side instead. There's no exact word for it in other languages, but in our dialect we call it maknal or maknal iye. It's a word that only exists in our dialect.
There's also a razor blade hidden inside the waistband razor blade.
We call it a ring blade. You know, you hide it in your mouth, and if you don't swallow it while hiding the razor blade in your mouth, you spit it out, right? And you have to spit out the razor blade, so I spit it out. And when I spit it out, the guards came running in because I was spitting it out. That was when I was in high school.
That church uniform.
I was wearing it, and that school uniform was a little blue. A blue school uniform. That's right. There was a school uniform that they said came from China.
But
I continued eating excessively for years, resulting in significant weight gain. I wore it so much that it got stuck to my skin and hung stiffly on the hanger. That's what happened. Even if you leave it in the sun for a long time, it just gets shinier. While wiping the leather jacket, I wondered why it was so tough and shiny, even the new ones. That's when I realized this is what people call patina, and learned about it. But then the shoulders were all stiff and creaky.
Why is this?
Like this. You have to be a little proactive. That's what they say,
Tears!
Hey, if you don't have anything to say, just say you don't, and don't pretend you do. That's what I'm saying. From there. Now, that guy's name is Domok, and he just turned 15. So they just hang out together, and if you don't have a group, you're just like us. That's right, that's how it was. Yeah, that's right. So, you know, I have to do this, you know.
that's right, and
That's right. So I got hit again. I guess I got hit because I was so clumsy. I got hit because I was so slow. Ilrora, even though we were on the other side of the ball, we played together and we were there again. That's how we became close, Ilrora. That's how we became friends.
yeah, so that's why.
The friends, we stayed together for about 10 years.
Only at that time if you do that until you become an adult.
So now how?
If you look, Jongguku,
In the middle, with just one world, our style is unique.
there was a rumor that our group was strong.
There are gangs.
When you hear the rumor, you think of gangs like the ones in our country, right?
It's not as serious as organized crime or anything like that, but it's not that level.
Still, right in front of the police station,
Kkotjebi, right there. If you did that, you couldn't survive. I wasn't like that. No, Kkotjebi. Even in the world of Kkotjebi, there are still those who say they're better. Among us, some were tough, while others were not. Indeed, some were truly tough. That person had a daughter and a wife, but he didn't have any arms. He didn't have any arms. And he didn't have legs on this side, but he had to be called a rightist. So he would just say he was a rightist. But even the police and military couldn't touch him because he was so weak. His arm was really completely gone. About 40 people were born in the village, but it's not that all 40 people are the same. In each area, there are a few.
like this, Yolcha.
When we went to Jinage, we had precise information about the train cars, their arrival times, and locations. They have comprehensive knowledge of the train schedules and details in that area. So now our Hyungnim, Oseongu, and I went separately for the inspection, and back then we just followed along. If you just follow along, your eyes. 전대 혼자서. Trying to eat it all by yourself. No, that's not it. How did Setbyol eat and live so well, I wonder?
Setbyol can't.
I couldn't tell if Setbyol ate well or not. I could tell from their faces why the other animals didn't eat well. This is Setbyol, this one here, this one.
Say it, Byol, don't talk back.
Hey, you have to come here every day and feed them, give them food and water. So when you look at it that way, our fists, when you look at it that way, people were pretty nice. So we would just fight instinctively and then run away.
The weak ones first.
Like Kohiri and the others.
This is each person.
There's a difference in the way we talk. The kids who are a bit rough are like that too. Then the ones who come to our neighborhood from the next town over.
There is, and then
The kid who picks up cigarette butts.
there is, and selling matches.
There's a kid who does that, picking up cigarette butts, selling matches. And now,
Please open the door quietly, Moon.
picking locks, tightrope walking.
I can't ask you to do something like this. First of all,
Kang Chul-hee is 7 years old.
Kang Chul-hee became a celebrity.
It's okay, Guillaume.
Could you give me some leftover rice from the cafeteria?
Yes, that's right.
With my head down, feeling intimidated.
Bachi.
And then lead you back.
Eat rice.
Make a living.
So after eating rice, the next 3 stages are selling things at the market. It's like this. It's like a tradition, so I just use it. And then if you go further, pickpocketing, opening the door to someone else's house. Breaking in, entering, theft, and fleeing, that's the process. And now, for the third time, people who used to follow that pattern are even committing murder.
Picking locks means opening doors.
People who pick locks also walk the line.
And that's what we call tightrope walking.
You must throw the rope over, or even the best lockpicker will be helpless. Look over there. It's Zhongjiang, yes. There are things that look like gold bars, things that look like gold bars. But if you look closely, that's actually a meteorite. Meteorites are really rare, so there are things like that. Sometimes they're buried in the mountains and people dig them up. Sometimes they're buried in the market and people dig them up. And sometimes they're buried in the ground and people dig them up. Then, after a while, they split them open and see what's inside. And sometimes they find something amazing. If you look at it just like that, they would take it and share it with us and give us some. That's how it was.
If you say it's a real communist country, the reason we could live so easily was because we ate together in the cafeteria like that.
That's what comes to mind.
I usually thought that too. Is it a magpie?
This might be the last time on YouTube, or maybe the last time on our broadcast.
Yes, that's right. In North Korea, Kkotjebi are...
You might not know how many there are.
You don't know.
It's more like gamjatang or gukdu rather than suljebi.
신고 메오리.
Didang no kigyo.
Those people...
It's a sales pitch. It's just that. And then there are people who don't live a regular life. People who don't live a regular life and just do things like that professionally. Just doing those kinds of things. Eating and living off of it. That's all they do. You have to call it pickpocketing. There are people who make money and live off of it. And there are people who sleep there because they make a lot of money themselves. If that's the case.
Then, do you prefer working individually, making a living on your own, or do you like working as a group?
When it comes to living in a group...
It's nice, and also...
Now, when I'm a little older and I've eaten enough, if I want to live alone or do something like that, in many cases, rather than living in a group, I prefer to live alone. Myung and Jongdo isn't that good. It's too unreasonable. If you live, you'll get used to it. 927 Sangmun or Lee-Cherun, there are people who catch these things. So since it's their job, they catch a lot. So it's not just dozens of times, but hundreds of times they've caught them.
That's true too.
They also get beaten.
Also, there are ordinary days in the lives of the police officers, like daily routines, yes?
Like that.
And then there are also special days, for example.
Like a birthday. Or for example...
For example, it's a birthday?
Then the defectors.
How do they spend the holidays?
I'm curious about those things. Let me tell you about the holidays. There's New Year's Day at the beginning of the year.
Well...
Even the apartment buildings we live in are all decorated with lanterns and things like that. If you look Kkotjebi, there are apartments, and they're in places like that. All in one row, they stack up. And as you listen to one, you get a lot of new blessings. Like this, you stack them up one by one, and the blessings pile up inside. Then, just like that, you end up with a big pile. They come all the way up to the end. When they bring it in, they can't say anything because they're shy.
머리씨는?
The kids come down from above. In first grade, all the older and younger kids are watching. Right, Lee Sorrow? If that's the case, then... Here we're safe.
I got it. It's different.
Go home.
Even the world of Kkotjebi?
Yes, I have a dream. No Hyunjoon.
When that happens, I go to the apartment where I live now.
Do it like that.
Then I move to a nice apartment and live comfortably.
So now our principle is...
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. People shouldn't go to eat before us. No. People like me. Taedu is like that, you know. When I'm hungry, will you give me some meat? Hey, Mary, open your heart just a little bit more like this. No, not that. There was that time, a few hours, just for about 8 hours or maybe 9 hours. Even on that day. After that, I just watched television and spent time with my family, relaxing. When the mood is right, that's when you have to go musum.
Are you also preparing for exams, the kids?
No, that's just how they talk. That's just the way they respond. And there are some principles you have to keep in mind when you deal with them.
We have principles.
It's too...
Because there are so many of them.
I have to keep doing the same thing. And I have to repeat it every day.
Many things come to mind that I must remember and express.
Things I absolutely shouldn't do.
Things like...
Like telling lies or
Why?
In North Korea, most cars are not privately owned, so they're usually public vehicles. In Pyongyang, avoid photographing vehicles to prevent capturing Central Party officials.
Even the car license plates.
There are guards too. I frequently pass by Kim Il-sung Square. There are also places where the road continues and the gate is open. But if you get caught while taking pictures, you have to eat it all.
If you don't do it right,
You have to run all the way to Jincheon rest area. So if you get caught while taking pictures of that car, you can't even get your stuff back.
that's why
That's why I did it.
There are many rules, but when you're famous, you get to use the best apartments. You go there, eat, and then...
Now, when you recommend, you don't look at the ingredients, so you just go by the smell. First, you have to go before everyone finishes the ritual. Before it ends, you have to set up the table and offer the food and then bow. It's like a playground, so when you go there, each group is performing their own memorial service in their own area. Then each group, they do it neatly and leave. Go. When greeting, they do it the same way 3 times in front. Joya bow. If you don't tell the person who gave you the money to eat, they'll get upset.
All right.
These are things that are on the side.
just for that day.
Janchi noodles. When you try to eat them with chopsticks, the noodles keep slipping off. So you have to keep trying to grab them. But even the noodles themselves don't cooperate, you know? They just won't get picked up. They just won't. You have to take care of the kids one by one. And even though it's frustrating, that's just how it is. That's right. Your mom, your dad.
If you say it like this.
Come here, come here, come here. Hey, this is dirty. Hey, don't do this. Hey, wipe this off. Like that, you just keep saying different things. And your voice gets louder.
Eat it.
It's delicious.
Thank you. At that time, Cham.
How did you see it? At the time when Seo was there?
In a way, it's an addition. But I want to do it again.
It's not a good memory, but...
It's an addiction.
Then there must be a reason, right? Today.
When it's someone's birthday, how do you celebrate? Like that, not just birthdays, but also wedding anniversaries.
But for weddings...
I'll tell you honestly, a few months before someone's birthday, if it's a day I really like, I'll ask them once.
Then, according to the order,
That's right, the pressure to decide.
just like that. Hey, I really like you, so I like things like this and that in ordinary life. Just that day.
Even if I pretend to be indifferent.
I want to eat something delicious. That's how I feel. In dire situations, people will resort to extreme measures to survive, such as eating grass, tree bark, snakes, and frogs. They become skilled at making meals out of scarce resources, like birthday cakes from minimal ingredients. They gather wild herbs and mushrooms, sometimes consuming them raw just to stay alive. Finding and eating anything brings them happiness in these circumstances.
And then me?
That's right, the older guys join in,
When I hear those words, I feel good.
laughing and then going over there.
And we're here too.
I expressed my intentions through gestures. People are happy because they have a lot. They're happy because they've gained a lot. But it's not that you're unhappy because you don't have something. Even without it, you can find happiness, and that's a truly happy thing.
With my brothers.
My life in September.
It's the September 7th.
The 7th is very special.
In the month. Kangna-hik.
Despite being an unpopular month for harvesting with suboptimal crops, people still harvest separately during this time. The grains may not be as plump, but they come in various shapes. On that special day, the family comes together despite their busy lives. The older brothers create a festive atmosphere by preparing food and drinks, allowing everyone to gather and enjoy the real snow water.
Since we're all in the same situation, those people are the same too.
That's the situation. In the meantime, I had a younger sibling who was still a baby.
But the one who made me cry...
But there was no one who wanted to be a family. That's how it was.
That's right.
Kyuga was the youngest in the family, but he was the oldest among us.
Chul is...
Now, he was sitting in front of the alley, just sitting there.
He was picked up and brought home.
Our Dumak,
Dumak picked him up and brought him home.
he raised him as his own for over 10 years.
Like that.
He took care of him, sent him to school, and raised him like that.
Are you curious? School.
I have to go home later.
Okay, but
It's not home, I have to go to the mountain.
That's right. I have to go to the mountain and catch the water and then.
Looking back, it's a slum. My house is in the mountains.
But that's.
But it's not really a house. Do you know, Bampo? A mountain isn't simply flat, you know? It doesn't just grow like this. Then it forms like this, and when you go inside, it's hollow, like this on the side. Ah, that's right. I go in first, and then I decorate the inside with things like trees like this.
And then like that.
This is my house, you know.
The part where he covers his eyes like this?
I was curious, but that person...
You said you became the boss while talking.
I don't know. Back then, I didn't really think about that situation.
The house where I used to live?
Well, I sold everything, and I had nothing left, nowhere to go.
But then when I looked,
Things didn't work out that way because I kept living.
I became strong like this.
Let's go, baby.
I heard that Seongi Jegiel was getting married and that the matchmakers were also involved. But it turns out it was just a rumor. I never even imagined it. Even the florist and those people are getting married. Where and how do those people meet someone? Or do they just meet someone outside?
Even if I knew marriage.
I never even imagined getting married and starting a family.
As a bachelor, I couldn't imagine getting married and starting a family. I don't have a house, car, or anything. Cool. In the meantime, those who were a bit clever and good at business saved up money by running small businesses.
they made a living that way.
Even if it was shabby.
Even if it was just a warehouse.
Are there people who still keep their faith alive? On the other hand,
There are also people who just continue their lives as before.
they eat whatever they can find on the streets and they beg for food. They bake bread like this in our cake oven.
They set the table and then
On top of that, they put things like mats and fruits.
They put it on top, and then the youngest would go under the table.
People would pass by and laugh.
Jinjam?
You just have to live well.
If you do, from Jumioni.
He took something out and gave it to me.
From there, he gave me a watch, and there was even a letter. Because of the watch like this, he took it off and left.
He was a soldier, but he came and left his watch saying he had nothing else to give. That's why he took off his watch and gave it to me before leaving. Wow, there are so many truly admirable people.
Everyone.
He's like that. At that time, Yohengja, and now it seems like it was during the time of Chulgun. Back then, when I was on the street, a lot of people would gather, and there were so many people trying to come and see. The travelers also,
Now, just regular people,
the things they received,
the amount of support is enormous.
too much.
I also did a real part-time job. And in the meantime, I also worked extra jobs. Mainly, the cafe part-timers were working there at that place in the station.
The place where they are active in the station is the underpass. Oh, and I used to beg in the station. It's called Jangmadang, their job. If you say it's a job, it's not really. But you need to have the skills to do it yourself. You have to go to a place that fits those skills. If you want to sell, you have to go where you can sell. You have to go to the market. Yes, you have to go to the underpass.
When do you go to the underpass? When you want to move or when there are trains?
When you ride the train, you have to sit close to the aisle.
If that's the case, then at that time.
Now I have to do it.
And then, Hangahyuk.
At that time, don't answer the phone, don't open the door. Closing the door and staying quiet.
People are like that.
There's no reason for that. You have to go to the neighborhood where ordinary citizens and people just go around cleaning up or doing things like that.
That's what it is. And then,
The residents of the main residential area now continue to reside in the marketplace.
if you live as a Kkotjebi, you naturally want to live as a Kkotjebi for a long time.
Many people, even those who know, are aware of it. When it comes to North Korea, I have no memories other than being a Kkotjebi.
In North Korea,
When I was in North Korea, I was a Kkotjebi, so until I escaped, I was a Kkotjebi.
How did the daily life of Kkotjebi children look like? From the moment I woke up in the morning.
When I woke up in the morning, I had to wash my face and find water to drink.
Uri.
Because of the two eyes, in a natural way,
There's always something.
you must be strict, but you have to eat another bowl. Even if I want to give you more, I can't. So now I have to wash the dishes, but in the mountain lodge,
since I'm here, the water is...
there isn't much of this stuff. If you get snow on your face, you just...
Wash your face, and then with that,
and that's it.
even on your eyes.
세수 하순 에올규리.
Today, It's okay, just like that.
And now everyone has their own worries, so today is just another day.
Where should we go?
Check it out and you go somewhere and like this until a certain time everyone gathers. Then we leave together.
If you listen to Yeah, you know that today is the last day. So even if you don't do anything, even if you just clap or cheer, you have to go home.
But I can't.
But sometimes I just can't.
If I bring it, then what?
I won't do it.
Just because you said that doesn't mean I didn't do my best.
So if it's there, it's there, and if it's not, it's not. We just accept things as they are, and that's why, naturally, a lot of people come and go, but some people stay for a while.
Kkotjebi, like that.
So if you bring a little, you eat a little. It's not about that. That's not what I mean. No, that's not it.
If that's the case, when you eat, you want to share more with the person who brought more or something like that.
There's nothing like that. No, that's not it.
Mokir and chamgyuchan are both parts.
Do I have to say it's a lie? Well, anyway, that's the situation in the construction area, so...
I just say, and it's the same.
That's the spirit of communism. That's right. That's correct.
Well, when it comes to that topic, I've heard so many different things, so I thought maybe it was just a continuation of the previous narrative. But it turns out it wasn't. It was actually a completely different story that came out of nowhere, so no, that's not it.
Even so.
Since it was the whole country, I had to move around.
It happened only once.
If you look around, there were times when I got caught in the 927 squad, and sometimes I couldn't see them for a few months.
And so on. So even when I got in the car and left, it's there, the train.
When you ride, most people ride in the regular seats, and a lot of people ride in the regular train seats. Or is it called that system now? The train's brake bar.
The part that applies the brakes.
It's there. It's on the bottom of the train. There are a total of 8 train wheels. 1
On the track, the train.
on one car.
8 in a compartment.
There are 4 and 4, and you have to go into that space. But when adults go in, it's too cramped. Only children can barely fit in there. If you go inside there, you can hold onto the rails like this, and the space is just enough for one person.
Right, about this much.
Come up, sit down, and hold the handle. Letting go will make you fall.
So how did you find that? And that place is...
Please let me know the way so that others can...
Let me know, like that.
I must do it, or I won't succeed.
That way, you know everything about the car. Where it comes from and where it goes, and even the license plate number, like that.
For cars 1 and 2, in cases like cars 1 and 2, you put them on a flatbed.
From Pyongyang to Haesan? Yes.
The train from Pyongyang to Hisan is a freight train, but the return trip is a passenger train.
1-2 trains Pyongyang to Haesan.
Yes, the Pyongyang to Hisan route is long.
Goodbye at the station.
Goodbye, halfway through the tunnel.
After we part ways from the station.
Now, since the train comes like this, that's why the first time, the second time, it goes like this.
From the seaside to the mountain.
When you go down the slope, you have to go down at once without stopping.
Oh my, please don't go that far.
Yes.
So what about the 3rd and 4th floors?
The 3rd and 4th cars are for carrying cargo on flatbeds.
From Pyongyang via Manpo to Haesan?
It goes around to the left. Oh, and also.
So after you get on that train, how do you eat and live on the way?
After getting on the train, most of the time it's like that. Travelers usually give us ramen or tteokbokki or something like that, so we eat whatever we get.
Honestly, I think that's how you end up getting a lot of those talents.
Sing it with fulfill.
It means to think.
It's okay, then...
Now those who are traveling, please eat at this time as well.
Do it like that.
Now, when I look at it, it seems like those people who lived back then were very diligent and hardworking.
You have to like money.
If you're not like that, people are just like animals of instinct. So whatever you do, you end up going to the place where you can survive. But what's most important is being able to break out of that cycle. If you do it with a plan, you succeed. And if you succeed, you say, it's because you had a plan. Living with that kind of mindset is the most important thing.
Success means being alive.
Being alive.
The body is grateful.
It's a blessing.
Today, Haru.
Jayo to Achay.
I opened my eyes and woke up. I lived another day today, and I'm grateful for this.
I'm also nervous.
Kkotjebi.
While living, didn't you ever think about leaving your parents' house, your mom's house, or your dad's house?
I wanted to leave, yes.
I wanted to go, but I couldn't. But when I was young, at that time...
Because of the abuse, neglect, and trauma, it was still there, so I cried a lot. When I was younger, especially in my life,
When Mom...
reflecting on it and on Mom, but now what can I do? I just want to see her. I just want to go back to her, that's all.
Now that's become a part of my life, and I've gotten used to it.
Yes, I came back to Korea and I have to listen to my wife and kids and I have to look after my grandchildren, but I don't even get to see my grandchildren. When you live as a stepchild, you end up being cautious. Now, even if I'm not a stepchild anymore, it's not like I have a good image.
You see, me too.
So I keep living like that. That's how it is. Whenever I think about the future, will I be able to do cosplay until I'm in my 60s or 70s like those people? If that's the case, I thought I would have to meet a woman and start a family too. I also started thinking about the future.
Because being with a woman...
But then even women...
There are a lot of pretty girls.
There are a lot of pretty girls.
Compared to men, it's probably a little easier, I think.
Bukan.
This is not something particularly unusual for women. So even women...
And people who aren't women, just people in general.
Because of that, even among us, women were always called by their names.
That's what happened? There was.
Those people gave me rice and sometimes did chores for me. But women don't have that much income. Just barely getting by. Doing things like this well. I can't do it. That's how it is. So, a lot of people die from trying to do it heroically, and that's what happens. 진정.
If there are people like that, they just get together and hang out. And if their minds connect, they end up dating each other.
There are a lot of people who got married like that.
That's why.
참.
The actual life of the flower crab in the muddy waters of the shallow sea is very, very tough.
Those 10 years.
Spending all those years.
If you want to achieve it, it takes 17 years.
If I were to talk about all those years, there would be no end to it. But since I'm just briefly mentioning it here, I'll just say that I spent all those years, and I still feel a bit nervous. How did I end up living such a tough life and then suddenly get to this point?
Originally, I lived a tough life as a Kkotjebi in a place called Yangon Province, Hyesan. From there, the story of how I ended up going to Hyesan in Yangon Province is originally, before I went to Hyesan, the reason I wandered around was because there was a place called Begum in Begum. I used to steal a lot from people's houses, and one day...
Or they would give me potatoes and...
I would get them and eat them. But in the neighborhood, there were these daughters-in-law who would come around.
The daughters-in-law vendors were in the neighborhood.
Dalbo refers to people who go around selling things like peddlers or vendors. When they came around, they would bring things like fruits. And when they left, they would take things like green onions. That's how they did business. But one day, I wanted to try it myself. When I lived there for a while, I got to know all the vendors.
That's right.
That's how it was. Those people would call me, talk to me, and I got to know them all.
So, well...
Neyeongguya, hey Gangcheol, you know there's a place called Yanggangdo Hesan over there, right? If you take a train from here, it's not that far.
That's right, over there.
If you go there and try living for a bit, you'll have a chance to visit China at least once.
There is to China.
But if you go, there are a lot of things you can eat, and there were a lot of things, so try going once. That's why I know about Yanggangdo Company. There was a time when I once rode a train to the countryside.
I went there, and then...
One night,
I was on my way.
The company people said this place is really cool.
Dang.
At first glance, I thought it was new and from the front. But after hearing others' comments, I realized they were right. So back then, I was 22 or 23 years old. Right, that's what happened. So...
Oh, it's Setbio.
Just say it. So the train, the paintings are lined up over there.
It's there, that way.
They ordered us to leave quickly, then attempted to shoot and kill us. There were many people and...
People were also scared.
But now, that 927 incident.
They said it was a high school student.
There was something.
Go Jong-sang, 927?
There are children who eat and sleep in front of the Sangmo Cafe in Suksu. I will live my life here as Go Jong-seng. And now those guides, the Sangmo guides. The managers are busy and have a lot to take care of, so you should handle the things you can. If we eat and sleep well here, then Chul and I will gather the Kkotjebi, and even when it's time to round up the Kkotjebi, Chul and I will take care of it and gather them together. Just like that. That's what they did. Muskio, if I don't do this, it won't work, so of course I'm scared. So, when we were here in 927, we were all laborers, so we had to work hard.
They said to do it.
That's right, and then I went over there. That part, I mean.
You heard it, right? Hey.
How did you get here, Yogi? That's my house over there.
I don't have one, and I just came here.
So I just came here to find a place to stay?
Oh, and then...
Just keep looking ahead, wherever you go.
That's right,
We just need to keep heading that way.
since I'm going, it's okay.
Your technology is...
If you have it, then for us,
That too.
sing for us, that's what I'm saying.
They wanted to learn about selling and buying.
That's the technique.
You just eat and live, so you don't know how to do things like pickpocketing.
Right, that's what it is.
There are also people who do pickpockets, you know,
There are tools.
like a wallet or a bag.
You know, a bicycle basket.
A bicycle basket is attached like this to the front of the bike, and you can put your stuff in it. And on top, you can cover it with a net or a cloth like this. It's like a net and it's wrapped around like this, but if you put your fingers through it, they all get stuck. That's how you make this filter. As mentioned, the filter is just one piece, and when it gets longer, it doesn't fit inside the container. But we have to make a lot of them.
We have to make it as big as the real world.
We have to make it. That's why we keep dividing it and making it smaller, and then at the end, we have to buy rubber bands.
So at the end,
The rubber band.
right.
So, now if you tie the rubber band and it feels like it's about to break, if you let go, it will snap and fly off.
Draw it inside.
Like this, that's how it goes in.
Oh my, that's how it is in the world too.
Garucheon is cold. Even on rainy or snowy days, I put it in my mouth.
There's
a blade in here, so don't open your mouth. If you open your mouth, it'll fall out, so keep it closed.
Just here and there.
I'll let you know how to wrap it like this too.
If you just imagine it, you can imagine the day. No, that's not it.
I always kept it in a box and only used it when I needed it.
So I kept it like this and carried it around.
No, I only took it off when I was sleeping or eating.
Bayuldaki, please say hello.
Bill Ducky is ringing the bell and running away.
No, it's not picking pears. It's not that. It's when kids take that delivery box, open it, and run away with it as a prank. They pretend to be getting in a car, but actually, they just take the delivery box and run away. If you look it up online, you'll find a lot about it. Delivery prank. If you look it up, you'll see, oh, this is a common prank.
Yes, that's it.
No, that's not it. Well, you know, when you touch it, you can tell. You can tell just by feeling it. That's also another way to check.
It's here. Good. In that type, depending on the type, the taste and aroma.
Chong, you have to sift the rice flour with a sieve.
Because the rice flour doesn't come out well.
I'm upset right now.
And I'm just here, Jill.
Things that come out well are bread, cookies, and cake. And things like that come out well. And things like rice. As a record keeper. Folding it like this creates a triangle shape. Follow along to make it yourself.
To match it, that part.
If you fold it, of course, you have to turn it around and look. No, it's not.
With one hand.
To carry the mug, hold it with one hand and support the bottom with the other.
Even if people are watching from behind.
I'm not a good actor, possibly due to my shyness. The others in the group also lack acting skills. The important thing is that I did it. Although they're all watching, it feels like they're not. Probably because we're the same age and they're mostly watching from the side.
I got hit. In Sinbokshin, we carried 2 bags of apples on our backs.
Narang Lee-Cherun.
I couldn't even walk properly, that's how it was. After the new development, it went to this development, and then it all went down.
But the soles didn't get worn out, they just got dirty. And then...
There was a separate money bag, and then...
I was spacing out when the red money bag suddenly came to mind.
Inside the panty?
I put it in, but...
I put the money inside my underwear and went, but as I was walking, the money kept moving around, and I ended up just holding onto the money.
That's not a police badge. I wish it had been Kang Chul, honestly.
Hey, Han is a good actor. He appeared as the chief of police.
I also like Chief Shin. So, let's meet at the temple in 3 days. Kim Byung-do will come too.
I don't know how it happened, but that's how it turned out.
I just listened quietly and left, and I kept that promise. After that, all I had to do was be careful around Kyulnai. And even when I got caught, it was Kyulnai.
I survived.
So I just kept catching the prey, and when I caught them, I would just grill them right there on the highlands, eat things like that, and then go to Yangbeks and grill them the same way, eat them, and then come back down. And then, even in places like Jangmadang, I became a person who was considered a woman. But I kept on living. So I thought I had to change my job, and then I went to Anragang. I went and ran away. Saori.
I went inside and came back out.
There are some animals that bring things like aluminum out with them. They try to collect it, so they gather around the collection point. Just because you're going.
Like bringing China into my house, I kept going, and now I even eat ice cream, and think I might love China.
At first. So now I even go there just to eat snacks.
Oh, the street.
I just walked, back then, since I didn't know, I just walked straight to China. I didn't even hide, I just walked straight. And as I was going, I heard barking behind me. If the sound of barking gets louder, it means you're in the middle. So that's when they catch you. When they catch you, you're in big trouble. This situation, why? Holding it, I grabbed it,
The capture is complete.
Was it meaningless? But I couldn't even think of catching it. But then it felt like I was caught.
They put me in a place like a prison.
Jang Baek-hun, the lawyer, that's where I was caught and taken.
I was eating ice cream and heading to China, but I was caught.
I didn't even get to eat ice cream. I just ended up getting caught.
If that's the case, then
About 3 or 5 minutes.
have passed.
Just after eating Chinese food in the same place for 3 minutes, I caught it again.
Oh, I got caught while spacing out.
Bang at Grim Simsa Temple for 1-2 weeks.
I'll be back in a bit.
They said they would send the verdict all at once. I joined the Hysan City Security Department and received a lot of awards.
First of all, it was my first time.
Because you have to get along. You have to stick with people like me. And you have to stick with people in the same situation. When an opportunity comes up, you have to seize it.
That's right, yes.
How did you know? Me too.
I caught it.
That's right. If you look at the company.
Men and women.
Man, woman.
With this kind of attitude.
There is. That's right, exactly.
This is the truth.
And then?
The second time I did the rice cake pounding.
The second time I went through the border area, and since it was easy to cross at that time, I defected. Back then I stayed there for about 3 days.
I was in China, and then in Yanji at a restaurant.
While walking at the restaurant, a North Korean-looking stranger approached me. They reported me for speaking with a North Korean accent. That's why. So they said they would give me rice, but instead of just giving it to me, they told me to work for it. I said I wasn't going to eat, but I ended up eating the rice anyway. But now if you fall behind in the factory, without that person, who will you trust and rely on?
So when you say, give me some rice, and they actually give you rice, that's how you talk. If not, then how else would you say it?
Just straightforwardly, just say, please give me some rice. If you're hungry, that's how you say it. You don't ask politely or anything like that. If you think about it now, it was just survival, nothing else. Why was I so ignorant back then? No, but really, we're refugees.
Some of you were really honest, but you were too shy to say it. So you didn't say it out loud and just giggled, and that made me laugh too. Yes.
I apologize. It was a sad story, but I couldn't stop laughing due to Kang Cheol's humorous way of telling it.
This is the energy of a really positive mindset.
More than just being positive, you really live your life that way. You say that if you love Sulpul Nori, you live like Sulpul, and I like that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Then you go through life like that, and then you hold on to it again in the end, yes.
After I got caught, I went to Haryong, and from Haryong, I was transferred to Camp 15. I was there for about 2 months.
I was there, yes.
I stayed there for about 2 months, and then suddenly, like a surprise truck, they took me to Taewon once, then transferred me to Cheongjin, and then sent me to Docheokyeolro. After that, I went to Dojugyo, and from there, I was finally released.
Nagasu logging.
After I left, I did logging for about 3 months, barely making a living, just barely getting by at that time. It was really hard. Back then, I was still working in the lumber mill, and even then, I was still doing logging.
I just ran away.
I just wandered aimlessly, not knowing where I was going.
Yes, that's right.
And then, I don't know exactly where, but I think I came out toward the Cheongam side.
I think so, Cheongjin.
Right above is Cheongam Station.
It's on the Cheongam side.
I think it was me.
So from there, you can't park your car anymore, and you can't open your car anymore. So you have to leave it at the Hwamun parking lot. There are a lot of cars there, so you park at Hwamun and then walk up the mountain from there.
I just went around the border.
From Musan, it's easy to go to Daeyeongdan again.
Yes, that...
We must continue onward indeed.
Keep going.
Go from Musan to Daeyeongdan, then from Daeyeongdan, climb the mountain again and keep going down. There was also the 10th outpost on the way. It was there, that's why. Trying not to get caught, I kept walking.
I ran away. At that time,
there were about 3 people in the group. They all looked Chinese, but
they were all women, and
the women were also going to China now.
I thought, I have to go too.
I was running away, and at that time I was scared. But in the end, everyone got caught in China except for me. I was the only one who made it out.
But why did those 2 get caught?
They said, don't go, it's dangerous. But they got caught while saying that. But I just kept going my own way.
So I just left.
I got caught twice in Santa because I had a record of escaping. Those people,
they saw it for the first time, but
even if I tried to tell them like me, they wouldn't listen. Those people.
Since they're beginners and we're strong players, it's intimidating for them. If they had listened, they would have succeeded.
If you don't listen and just go, you might regret it later. Wait.
I called it dang.
I told you to hold on.
In fact, most North Koreans are either on the Chinese side of the border, or they have brokers, or they use brokers inside North Korea to do the same thing.
That's usually how it is.
Accents can reveal a person's nationality or region of origin, such as a Korean accent or a regional dialect. Many different accents exist. Gang Chelsea is from China. He just came straight from there, yes?
Without any plans, just came over.
Did you do martial arts in China?
In China, I worked at the market.
Yonggun Dashi.
Since I did the rice cake business 3 times at the seaside, I did the last rice cake business.
I walked all the way to Yeongun, and it felt like I walked for about a month. On the way, I would go into empty houses, eat whatever was left, and sleep there.
And then I kept walking and walking.
I kept walking and walking, and before I knew it, I had come to the west side. I just kept going in that direction, and before I knew it, I was somewhere else. But from there, I ended up staying for a long time.
I kept going.
When I looked over there, there was a marketplace.
There was one, but
that place was a market. It was underground, but from there now, I need to get barley bread from the store to eat it at home.
Pretend to be mute.
Great job acting mute earlier. You should continue since I'm unable to.
Dalago.
Ask for food, say you're hungry. That's why Dazyaba speaks in Chinese, pretending to be mute.
That's why, because of that.
He begs for food and asks for something to eat.
That's what he does. No.
That's how it works. From now on, it's up to you. Even if I try, it won't work anymore. But then, sometimes there are kids like that. There are high school students or kids like that who, because I'm mute,
they go behind me
and tease me.
They call me a pig and laugh.
Some kids act that way, which really hurt me at the time.
Like this.
You just stand still like this. And then someone comes from behind and pushes you, so you fall over like this, and then you get up again.
You have to act well, yes.
You have to act well. I was also famous at the playground.
청소를 했어요?
If you go around the stores, there are things like cleaning supplies and food left over. Please take them.
Then Hyunjoon.
There are people called managers, and if you say you're hungry, they'll give you food.
But actually,
I didn't say anything. I just stayed quiet over there. Now, since I've experienced it twice, even if they asked me, I didn't say anything.
정대 명구리.
I only continue to do it within the country.
So when I saw that,
The level of Chinese calligraphy is astounding and truly remarkable.
I couldn't handle it, so I tried to learn Chinese just to eat ice cream.
I ate ice cream without paying. I ate it without paying. You could eat as much as you wanted, but every day you had to work hard, even if you ate. But after eating it, at first I couldn't taste the flavor, but now, I'm holding on to my first impression. At first it was like that, but many people...
I'm losing my original intention.
This used to be something so familiar, but if I try to find that feeling again, I get anxious and nervous, and that's why I get so frustrated.
I put my heart into a lot of ice cream, so for a few years in China,
I was there for about 3 years, but one day...
It was a sunny day in China.
I remember that day very clearly. There was a place called Hyunjoon Church. Hyunjoon Church was right next to the river. I think it was called the river, or maybe the stream. Anyway, after you crossed the bridge, there was a park next to Hyunjoon Church. Yes, like a national park, there was a place like that. Soon after the holiday, a large crowd gathered there, dancing, singing, and engaging in various activities. It was a sizable gathering. If you go there, you can find food, drinks, and snacks. A few snack stalls are lined up next to the main entrance.
While doing that, the grandmothers and others,
About 6 people,
Like this, they were gathered together.
they were sitting down and eating. So in the past, before eating together at the table, it was not common to eat with others, you know?
Just eat until you're full?
So after eating together at the table, you start to feel like family, like you're sharing a meal together. Eat up, okay? That way, the water remains, and when it dries, it cracks gradually. So I told you to eat, that's why you have to eat. The person is like this. She said, come here, and started walking, saying, let's go. So I followed her and went to the hill.
Today,
I didn't say anything, I just said, say it. Halmyoni came from Joseon and lived like this.
speak to the kids in Korean.
You say you send a lot. Is it because Korea is far away? Nam Joseon can't go, but yeah, that's right. Nam Joseon is doing really well. At that time, it was a period when my mother had to send me to Korea.
After my grandmother passed away, I heard about her story from my father. Yes!
That's right. So from here to Joseon, it took about 6 months to get here. And since it took so long, the grandmother must have been very tired, right? She must have been exhausted.
Grandma!
She said she would call tomorrow, and then she would call. She told me to take the call, but then she said the call would come the next day, so she handed me a note saying, this is how Halmyoni left it. But when I tried to charge it, I couldn't do it again. The battery was so swollen that it wouldn't even close properly.
She answered.
So back then I used to sleep on the floor of the dormitory, trying not to catch a cold, just like in China, right? So I slept in the cemetery, not knowing what would happen. And I kept wandering around at night. When the sun came up, I would leave, so I didn't even know where I was sleeping. Jeonhwa-ga.
Oh dear, and Jeonhwa.
Since you answered, Grandma, tell Billy to come down.
Promise.
She told me to come to the place, so I was going. There are 2 people named Kai.
근데...
But suddenly...
Like that.
Right. What kind of situation is this again?
It's Geonga, but
Halmyoni is...
she said she wanted to live, and these people...
So you should take care of Nam Joseon.
These people...
If you follow...
They said. Then I heard something else.
But I couldn't believe it. But I wanted to believe it.
Halmyoni?
Even if it was Halmyoni, I wanted to believe it. But at church...
The pastor and the evangelist.
They said the same thing,
Pastor Siguna?
So at that time...
So it came to me in Korean?
But then in the afternoon...
But until now...
It took about a year to get to that church. Maybe a little over a year.
I even cleaned the bathrooms and prepared the offerings.
I worked in the fields and worshiped.
And then...
Next, I became a broker. And I also worked as an intermediary. At church, I worked as a broker for about a year.
And that's how it was.
I lived in China for around 3 years.
To be honest, if I think about it, the day I met Uni was the day of the language test.
So, on the day of the language test, I got a fortune. I can't forget that day.
Ah, Jinjin.
Why can't you remember? There were so many good memories.
But
Halmione, are you still in touch? Do you still keep in touch? No, not now.
I can't get in touch.
At first, I contacted Korea after coming here.
I used to, but now.
If I put down my phone just once,
I have to unlock it again?
I know that I have to reactivate it.
I keep unlocking it.
You see,
It looks like all the phone numbers are gone.
Jinseo.
That's a relief. And in Korea like this,
Kkotjebi and
now that I think about it, while living like this, even when I was in Amur, I don't recall hearing any information about the National Assembly or similar matters.
Yes, I couldn't really hear much about things like the National Intelligence Service. That's right. Broker. One thing I heard a lot growing up in Korea was be like Betureng broker. Who is that? About 130 North Korean defectors have been caught and sent back. Among them, there were also North Korean defectors who were there with me. If you stay in that block for about a year, there are usually about 8 to 10 people. They contact those people in Korea and they keep in touch. And even now, they still keep in touch.
They still do.
But now Samchun is probably in Korea, so one of the pastors in Korea.
There is, but
That person is Pastor Tak Bokmin.
it's about Chulshin. That person.
Through a broker, I paid the expenses, and that's how I was able to come to South Korea.
That's right.
I didn't even receive a single one for the broker fee.
I just gave them the 3 million won deposit as they asked. And when I move out, they'll deduct the broker fee from that.
That's right, That's all.
That person used to talk about Hana won a lot.
He said that once you get out of Hanawon, you settle down somewhere. And once you have a place to live, that's when your life in South Korea really begins.
Life at Hana won.
But
Like this.
I didn't want to, so I packed my stuff.
Give me a house, really?
I'm just patriotic.
Even if I have it, I'll give it to you.
Even if I eat baekburi.
I'm happy.
Now, I'm Joseon. If you think about it, you may no longer be hungry, so just keep living as you are. I'm happy with my life right now, and that's why I say this. I am...
Even in North Korea and in rural China, I just lived my life, never imagining that I would end up in a place where I could settle down and live comfortably.
When I was farming, my back was always bent, and I lived my life looking down at the ground, supporting the sky like that.
That's how I lived, but I never even dreamed of having a home of my own one day.
What should I do? You know what I mean? Should I be honest with you?
I should have spoken honestly. It's good, but why do I feel this way? It's good, but why do I want more? I wonder.
I didn't have anything except what I brought from one place, and I just went home. But nothing.
There was nothing, but...
Oh, what should I do tomorrow? Then I ended up raising a dog, and while raising the dog, I thought, I have to live to feed this one. But then before I spend this money, I have to do something to earn it.
I have to do it.
I'm also Korean American, so I thought if you need any help or if there's anything like this, please contact me. And that's how I got their contact information and reached out.
By doing this,
I earned some money. I wanted to, but how should I do it?
so I asked,
There are people like this and there are people like that, but how did Kang Chul-soo get to be so smart? Yeah, well, people ask me this way. I lack formal education and haven't attended school.
I haven't. Right now,
Learning music from Hyunjae Hanawon.
별 엔탄게운.
Let's see, that's how I did the practice.
That's right.
Then I should try something similar to Manodong. After I do it, I'll introduce myself.
하청 company, 하청 company.
Gyeonggi Ulsan Shipyard, Hyundai Heavy Industries. I went there to apply for a job.
I went in, and even the demo.
I did things like a labor demonstration. So I tried it there, but it didn't feel right, so I kept looking around.
And this achievement...
If it doesn't feel right, I just leave and move on. So I try to avoid it, but then I think, No, I have to endure this. I have to hold on and survive. But it's really tough. It's not like I came here to become a beggar or anything like that.
That's right. So,
Self-reliance means making money through work. However, with many people striving for self-reliance, the available support gets divided. So now Samsung Heavy Industries, and here in Cheonan as well.
I went there and from the station.
There's something called FRP, and if you ask what FRP is, it's things like ferry boats, amusement park rides, and water tanks made strong like this.
and then you use fiberglass and harden to make it strong.
You sand it down and then you make it. If you look at companies like LG or Samsung, or in the shipbuilding industry, most of the time when you see them making digital devices, you'll see a big tank of liquid nitrogen. They use that to store the nitrogen.
That's what it is. And then
Go inside and work, but rest for 20 minutes every third time. Do you know the reason for this pattern?
Because you're using your body a lot.
If you sweat, it gets in your eyes. When you take off your helmet, it feels like this, and even your suit.
No, whoopee.
You connect things like this with a tube.
and then block it.
Put on a mask, gloves, and protective clothing.
While doing it to Hyunjoon.
They say it's rolling on the rooftop.
I keep laughing and talking, but if I continue like this, I'm really going to die. No, I can't do this. Let's just stop here.
And then I went out.
Paynon.
Yes, Paynon.
But this person is really talkative.
And then it's just too.
Because I talk a lot, when I get stressed, I can't eat properly, and I lose weight like that.
I think this.
I need to have enough stamina to get through the day, but I couldn't do that. I want to do my best but can't, which is frustrating. However, I really enjoy my current work.
That's why I want to be free.
So I keep going around in circles. So, looking at it that way, I have to figure out what to do next, I guess.
Is this the right thing for me?
There was nothing certain.
Just empty.
It's great because it's filling. I came to Korea just to satisfy my appetite.
It's full.
My house.
You know, right?
When I first came to Korea and Japan, I was nervous and anxious about everything, looking around and wondering what would happen. But now, I'm used to it. And now I really feel settled.
But that's pretty surprising to me, too.
Wow. And also, when it comes to things like long and unfamiliar food, at first when I came to Korea, I tried to eat unfamiliar food, but I was a bit hesitant and cautious.
I just wanted to eat. People
Around me said, "You shouldn't eat cat food. You shouldn't eat it. You shouldn't eat it." They said it's made so that only cats can eat it, so you shouldn't eat it. But I'm still curious about it.
I'm curious about that, too.
Chum.
It's been a while, Shingi. I just thought I could get by with just rice and side dishes.
I became interested because I kept hearing about Korean women. And then when I first came, I received something like a certificate, a temporary resident card. Yes, that's right, a temporary resident card. Before I got my permanent resident card, I received a temporary resident card. And then I got my permanent resident card. The food doesn't taste good. I eat rice at the shelter, but it's not the same as eating rice at home. After work, I just kept sitting in the same spot, staring blankly. The day I can prove myself, I am 대한민국. I'm a citizen. Why? Even though I'm standing in the snow for this, when I eat hot ramen, it feels even colder. Hey! And I wondered how I managed to survive here. I lived without anything. Even without gangchona.
I lived until now, right?
I've lived honestly, but here, they don't pay you for work and there's no proper place. I have to do it to get by.
Really, it's amazing.
I worked hard.
I've interviewed a lot of people up until now.
Too much.
There are times when things get a bit awkward or uncertain, you know, like...
I don't know.
My sympathy and gratitude compel me to express myself in this manner. But even in North Korea, there were people with IDs, and even in China, there were people with IDs.
So, but I never even made something called a birth certificate myself. When I was in the North, looking back, I just lived as another person's child, and I didn't have any proof of my existence. It was just a struggle for survival. And when I woke up, I wondered where I would go to get food today. Or if I had to go steal, where would I go to get caught today? And it was just like that. Even now, when I think about it, I just talk about it calmly like this. But at that time, I go back to that situation in my mind. If I think about it, I don't think I could have survived.
That's right, really.
Couldn't live.
That's right. What should I do?
In my youth, I received cheers. But eventually, people started ignoring me, despite still running.
They don't admire me anymore. Age.
Where did all the young kids go, even if I tried to work hard?
Gulju Johnny, you bastard.
You dog bastard. Even if I try to work in the north.
They don't give me anything, even though I work.
Even if you work, they don't give you anything. So the people who stay at home just talk in Korean, and if you get caught, you'll be in trouble.
That's how it is. Even if you work.
After wasting time, I would just wander around aimlessly, go outside and just stand there, not doing anything, just standing like that. If I got hungry, I would just eat whatever I had. And sometimes I would go out and buy something to eat.
But even then, it wasn't enough.
Like this. If you look at it this way, even the people who stayed at home during the Korean War lived better than the refugees. When the refugees were moving, there were a lot of people coming and going. People who stayed at home and people who couldn't make it.
Because it's Soonjin, because it's Soonjin.
If it's tomorrow, it's Baekhyun.
I'll come out if it's tomorrow.
The distribution will come out.
From that country?
Just what I gave.
Receiving this.
Because it seems like that's become the norm.
Who?
I'm exhausted. Could you repeat that? How am I supposed to eat and live?
I have to do it. That's how it is.
It doesn't work out.
Now, I came to Korea and tried to get used to the heat.
As for the Korean passport, I was talking about it. When you open the cover of that blue passport and look inside, there's that smell, you know? That smell, it's kind of like the smell of a new textbook.
When I was in China, I was waiting at the train station, and at that time...
A woman from South Korea.
Yes, that's right, in blue color.
I was looking at it and...
It was close.
It's just a picture, but I put it up like this to make it look real. It's real. Right now I just got a new one, but I received this driver's license 10 years ago, and I still have it. If you have it, just keep it safe and take care of it again later. Why are you laughing like that?
Here.
When I was drawing Korean grandmothers, I would draw their hair, this grandmother's hair, and then go into the wrinkles of the grandmother, and then draw the wrinkles, and then take a picture of it. And even now, when I look at it, it feels warm.
But back then, when I was bleaching my hair, it felt cool, you know.
Namdang Hyungsanim Hante.
Excuse me, detective. If I receive evidence, how should I use it?
So in South Korea, most women wear pants, but in countries like Asia, most of them, without exception.
You can travel without a visa. You can travel without a visa. That's what I meant.
China too, so China.
Except for that, it's not like that.
At that time, I received a visa and went to China once.
So when did you get married? If that's right, then congratulations. And at that time, then...
It's different depending on the time. Now, it will be different again.
Now, for the sake of...
I try to minimize using English and practice Korean as much as possible.
Why did you go back to China again at that time?
No, this time it was for travel, Sama.
Just for travel, Sama.
Hey!
Like this, I'm walking along the beach in China.
I lived like this, but Korea, feeling frustrated and anxious.
Calmly with these eyes.
At that time, I had already let go of my acting.
저기 남방.
I went down to the countryside.
Oh, the train.
Travel episode 4.
What should I do? What should I do when I ride that and the ticket inspector comes?
When the plane was coming in, I was nervous. When I got on, my heart was pounding. Ah, that's right. Why did I feel so nervous?
그 인천?
From Yonhamudo.
예, 배.
I was about to leave now.
Yeah, to Bebenam.
Even if I get hit by a bullet, I don't care. I have to go.
Jinsim.
When you drink a glass of beer by yourself like this...
It's just too...
Good. I just bought some Mayan Sejong's bread and went to see the bloggers. I just did it.
Did you take a taxi when you came here?
Yes, I took a plane when I came here.
How was it? When you were on the plane?
The plane, I actually rode the plane twice because I took it once when I came to Korea. It wasn't a big deal. Oh, and also at the end there were a lot of things like Chinese planes flying by. Oh.
Yes, that's right. I was really scared, yes.
I was a little scared. When we were here in Bangkok, when we first left Korea and flew to Thailand, we took Korean Air. But at that time, we took an East Asian airline to get here, a Chinese airline.
I was a little nervous on the plane,
Musukun.
but it was a little scary.
Due to exposure to fine dust in Korea, my throat was initially sore. It worsened when I traveled to China.
Let me sleep again.
When I arrived at Incheon Airport, I felt relieved.
Yes, that sense of relief made my steps feel lighter. Ah.
Some people who used to live like that suddenly stopped and became unhappy, and others were born again. Yes, but as for our neighborhood interview, we want to keep it simple and honest, not like that. We want to do it calmly and sincerely. That's the charm of our neighborhood interview.
Now in Korea,
living like this in society as I live, now I'm doing a different job. Yes,
I like otobai, so I'm working as a delivery driver.
delivery driving has recently gained popularity, with many people taking up the job.
There are more delivery drivers than customers, even if I go to the store now.
They switched to delivery driving.
Many cases involve delivery services.
Is it because it fits the characteristics? Yes.
I really like it. Other people can't do it. At first, delivering to this neighborhood...
It's been 10 years since I started.
It's been...
But
It's my first time, remember?
You know, Jinjin, that means I've been doing Beidaldehang for 10 years.
That's right.
Oh my. How did you end up doing this so sincerely?
Again, so diligent.
Yes, I think you found it well, right?
It's really nice.
The way you do this work suggests there was a reason for it, possibly due to difficulty or pressure. I believe there must have been challenges involved.
There were a lot of difficult things.
Because now, there are a lot of customers who are really nice.
Some of them are a bit...
They got upset or didn't eat?
They say they won't eat, but if they don't eat, I have to make it again and bring it.
No, when I bring it again, I have to make a change.
I have to pay 3,000 won, but sometimes I have to pay even more.
There are situations like that too. Really?
I must eat even if I don't want to. The most I changed was 170,000 won. Why did I change it?
For it, why did I have to pay for it? It was left over.
I told you I was sleepy.
I have to do well on the delivery too.
Yeah, this is how you do it.
Yes, that's right.
No, how?
If you don't have it, please ask.
That's right. It's a minus life. If you go to the convenience store and come out, you might spend a few thousand won, or even tens of thousands of won. And if you keep doing that, your mood will get better. The early reporters are.
I don't know, but I'm frustrated. You have to deliver a lot to make a profit.
If you deliver, that's how it is.
You have to learn a lot from experienced people. And while you're learning, you have to work hard and put in a lot of effort. That's how you get better.
You need to have a strong mindset, and your mentality is important.
Since it's the service industry, not everyone you meet is going to be nice. There are people who want to bring you down whenever they see you, because that's just the way things are.
Sometimes I just want to give them an award.
So nice.
I thought it was someone else, but it was really Jinsang.
There are all kinds of people in the world, but if you only have good people around you, you might think the world doesn't turn. There are people like this and people like that, and that's how we become who we are and grow. But honestly, I don't want to live like that.
When was it in Korea? Everyone is so nice and grateful even on snowy days.
Or like this.
There are also people who are concerned. And recently I heard...
I also have a field I'm interested in. I don't know how long I'll be able to do this job, but I'll keep doing it until I can't anymore. Until my body can't handle it. Even if I reach 80, I'll keep doing it as long as I can. So before that, if I meet a good woman, I'll start a family and try to live a good life. Then my job will also... I need it. A job is just a job. I want to be a singer. Abeoji made it like this and left. He liked it. But how am I supposed to say that it's you, John? I have to do it well, too. I made things like drums, matches, and chairs myself.
No, that's Moksoon.
Right now, I'm making a living as a YouTuber, earning income by running a channel.
I'm doing things like this with a metal detector.
There are people who only do metal detecting.
A unique hobby?
They have.
There are mountains in the countryside, so if you go hiking, you can also find wild herbs and mushrooms. If you pick them and sell them, you can make about 100,000 won each time. With that money, you can exercise or do other things. So that's why I go hiking.
I still hold on to my special hobby, even today as an interviewee.
It's a bit awkward, but this...
To all the women watching this video, Kang Cheol Choi and I just spent the last 2 hours doing this interview and chatting, and I can tell you he's a really sincere person. So for those of you who are interested, you can contact me. I have an email, and also please make sure to reach out to me. Please.
Thank you so much for your support and for joining the open recruitment.
I will contact you soon. And Lee Sang-hyung,
I have to ask.
what is your ideal type? Jun Ji-hyun, Lee Hae-yi, or Song Ye-kyung? If it's one of them, that's great. How did you develop this ideal type?
As for me,
Well, I don't really have one.
Yeon-sang, I like them.
To Yo-jung, I always do it, but
no. I like older people. I just like older people. Someone who has a warm vibe.
Who?
Power Dora.
Should I do it, son?
Woman, yeah.
That's not really true. Not to that extent, really.
There was a bit of a fight.
It's nothing. It's not a big deal.
No, I just don't understand why people are like that.
Why do they keep ignoring me?
Yakan is just too innocent and naive.
He has a lot of energy and is very lively.
I'm not someone who looks at appearances, no.
But still, even just by appearance, he looks healthy and lively.
When you see things like that, don't you feel a little jealous?
Ah, right. I used to think I'd get married early, like at 25, but now I'm already 36.
For 10 years.
If you want to get married.
During that time, I didn't date anyone, but still.
Oh, there were some people I dated.
Where are they now?
Well, since I finished dating, now I have to think about my future. That's right. Back then, I just endured it. Yeah.
If anyone is interested, please contact me.
Thank you.
Bye.
I don't follow Kainananip, just people.
Vitality.
As long as you have a strong will to live and work hard together, that's enough. Despite my nerves, I successfully completed the interview today.
Me too.
Lee-Cherun.
Interviewer, please come out. I couldn't tell you everything I wanted to until now, but today I was able to say it all, and I really liked it.
This is Yuna from Broadcasting Country.
Even on the bus,
Even if I wanted to do it, I was always hesitant. And that's why I couldn't go for it.
Bangwon interview is...
There's no script and no set format.
But it's just too...
It's not like that at all. It's very genuine and honest. That's why I keep watching the videos. I never get tired of them. Whenever a new one comes out, I just keep watching. True.
Thank you. No! Jin Seon said she found the time to come to me. I wanted to do interviews, but other people said they didn't know the contacts well, so I didn't appear on many other YouTube channels. It was hard to find you, but thank you so much for sharing your precious story and your difficult experiences with me. Thank you so much for the interview today. I'd like to say a few words to our viewers.
Viewers, hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? If I may say so, it's not good to lie, but I don't have a front tooth, and I have a lot of lisping. It's very direct and sometimes hard to understand, so please keep that in mind. First of all, greetings to all the viewers. Even people who didn't know what delivery was now know that almost everyone in Korea uses delivery services. So now when you talk about delivery, people immediately know what it is.
Soup can spill a little, especially in rainy or snowy weather. The food may also get a bit cold. These things happen sometimes.
At times like that, I hope people can just think, what if it was my own family doing the delivery? And just offer a simple word of encouragement.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm not requesting anything extraordinary. That's not the case.
And now, Byunol, you did well.
A video about living as an immigrant, or about riding an Osobai and saving money for a short period of time. But I'm just uploading videos as a hobby. Honestly, I don't make any money. There's really no profit, but still a lot of people support me. But now, our local viewers say, please keep going. We're interested, we're watching, so I keep uploading like this.
Bayo Namyong is Rider Kang.
That's what it's called.
I happened to come across that channel and I just quietly watched it. It was just daily life, showing things like this and that. A lot of people have subscribed and liked it, so I think it will keep growing.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed watching today, please subscribe and like. Thank you.